¿Qué pasa, amigos? I am Ash, and today I want to make 5 predictions that I think will come to fruition for EA and BioWare's upcoming title, Anthem. First will be a simple prediction, and is one that envisions how gamers and critics will feel about Anthem when the full game drops on February 22nd. And that first prediction is that Anthem will score a 7.5 out of 10 on average with critics and fans alike. Based off what I'm seeing in the demo, I feel this game will be solid, but nothing special. A 7.5 is given to games that have sound mechanics and gameplay, but don't excel in any one area. BioWare isn't really bringing too much innovation to the table with this title, but is delivering intense gameplay with its Destiny and Diablo style mashup, along with a loot system that gets players engaged and always searching for the next most powerful weapon or character upgrade, even if those systems tend to turn into a grind. Speaking of the loot system, for my second prediction, I foresee the player base becoming frustrated and falling off rather quickly due to Anthem's Destiny-style loot and progression system. While they are not identical, Anthem takes a lot of pieces from Destiny's system. The main similarity between the two is the progression system and how it really ties into the looting. Both in Anthem and Destiny, the player's power is determined by the overall level of their gear. In Destiny, this leveling system is called Light, and in Anthem, it's referred to as a gear score. At the end of every mission in Anthem, you have a debriefing where it shows the loot you have hauled back. This loot is run on an RNG system that randomly generates equipment and guns, all with random stats and abilities. Just like in Destiny, the player will gradually upgrade their weapons and armor with higher level gear, thus increasing their gear level and the overall power of their javelin. While a system like this is exciting at first, as you're constantly finding better gear to utilize, the system almost always turns into a grind, which does not appeal to the average player. Playing missions over and over or scouring the world for better gear can become tedious and frustrating. With the raid system making an appearance in Anthem, this gear score will most likely force players to meet a certain gear score in order to participate, much like Destiny did, which will give players the option to grind or be left out of one of the more exciting aspects of the game of this style. For my third premonition, I am calling that the Javelin, Storm, will be by far the most utilized and well-received class in the game. For those who don't know, the Javelins are the suits that your character uses in order to bring death and destruction to the enemy. In Anthem, there are 4 different Javelin types, and the class named Storm is one of these war machines. Storm is a warlock or wizard type suit that allows players to use devastating elemental attacks to focus their hit on one or a number of enemies at once. Storm will be able to set up her teammates and even herself with a combo opportunity by freezing, melting, or shocking enemies with the trio of elemental attacks Storm can utilize. Storm's ultimate attack is, in my opinion, the most awe-inspiring to friendly players and devastating to the enemy. Here she utilizes thundering trio of elemental attacks that combo and ultimately crush a massive enemies at one time. In addition to Storm's shock in all attacks, her ability to move, hover, and teleport about the battlefield is only topped by the Javelin type Interceptor, who was built for movement. Storm was shown off extensively in the gameplay BioWare has released over the last few months, which tells me that they are aware that Storm will be the most appealing and utilized Javelin, and I think it's fair to say that Storm is an absolute beast that players will flock to. My next prediction will follow a concern I voiced in my last video about Anthem, and that is the open world. While I remain cautiously optimistic about Anthem being a true open world, I do have hopes and expectations that it will be just that. From the gameplay BioWare has shown off recently, it does appear that Anthem will be an open world RPG. With that being said, Destiny had promised us this much as well. While the developers aren't the same, and neither is the game, I've learned to hold my excitement for games like this. A note of concern appears on Anthem's website that the game Anthem is, quote, an RPG with contiguous open world elements, end quote. While all signs point to an open world, my pessimistic prediction is that Anthem proves to be less open than we actually want. This is also the prediction I hope is wrong more than any other. My final prediction is more like my biggest hope for the game, the thing I pray to the gods of gaming for, which is that Anthem learns from the mistakes of Destiny. Since BioWare is essentially making a version of Destiny with a pinch of Diablo influence, they have the advantage of being able to analyze and correct what Destiny got very, very wrong. My concern with this is that even Bungie and Activision couldn't correct the mistakes in Destiny 1 by the time Destiny 2 was released. My hope is that with a different developer and world to build around, BioWare and EA are able to counter the issues that arose with the Destiny franchise that it seems to take so much influence from. Now for a bit of post-content housekeeping. My hopes for a video series like this is we can establish a trend where we start by analyzing a game and giving our first impressions on that analysis, like we did in yesterday's video, then make predictions about its future like we did in this video, and once the game drops we can revisit our prediction and first thoughts video to see how good our judgment is. My goal is to create a 3-part mini-series for each game I and my audience finds intriguing or interesting, so that we can start a dialogue, find common ground, and learn from each other in the experience along the way. And that will do it for this video. Make sure you like, click, or tap that subscribe button to become the heart of this gaming channel, and be a part of the conversation in the comments below by telling me what your predictions are for Anthem. And for more gaming analysis, news, reviews, and opinions, stay here on Ash Heart. And as always, thanks for watching.